Number 20. Morphed Demon. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
でお前で14だ。
何の話だ。
俺が食った鱗炊きの弟子の数だよ。
Slicing off the heads of lesser demons is all par for the course in the final selection. Dealing with a giant monstrosity made entirely of arms, not so much. As it happens, this disgusting creature is intrinsically tied to Tanjiro, since it's the same being that slaughtered Orokudaki's former disciples as vengeance for being imprisoned. As such, in order to put the ghosts of Sabito and Makomo to rest, Tanjiro utilizes all his training to put an end to the Hanzi demon's revenge spree, which he accomplished in style thanks to the sharpness of his water-breathing techniques. Number 19. Biscus T. Balmus, The Rising of the Shield Hero.
神への反逆、その大罪、浄化では生ぬるい。
While there's still plenty of individuals on Naofumi's shit list that deserve to get axed off, looking at you mine, we won't deny that seeing this would-be holy man meet such a damning end still made for a memorable step in the Shield Hero's rise to redemption. With a false divine weapon at his command, and the life force of his congregation fueling his magic, the Pope of the Three Heroes Church seeks to wipe out the non-faithful and take over the kingdom for himself. At least until Naofumi busts out the blood sacrifice and ensnares him between a set of mechanical demon teeth. Number 18. Kureo Mado, Tokyo Ghoul.
聞くに耐えんな。
The CCG might have shed a few tears when this elite ghoul hunter was terminated by Toka, but we sure as hell weren't. Despite being the model of fatherhood back at home, apparently, and a shining example to Amon, supposedly, Mado was shown to be a tad too enthusiastic about his work, taking great pleasure in killing Hinami's parents, all before coming back to hunt her down with a weapon made from their remains. That is some sick shit, hence why we applauded the Anteku employee for delivering a rather brutal retirement plan to the bloodthirsty geezer. Number 17, Sadler. How not to summon a demon lord.
僕の持つ神の御業の前では塵も残さず消え去ることでしょう。なぜなら僕は神そのものなのだから。
You'd think that after Diablo turned his ass to stone, this paladin would realize that he wasn't the almighty top dog he thought he was. Nope. Turns out, after being brought back by his fellow zealots, Sadler had convinced himself he was practically a god, one even capable of controlling a demon lord with his minuscule magic. Joke's on him, since after an enraged Clem transforms into a legitimate hellspawn, she not only blinds the holy prick with her mere presence, but magically nukes him and his cronies.
僕は神ではないのですか。
Number 16, Lord Embryo, Cross Ange. There were plenty of people that gave Ange grief during her exile, but none were viler than this high and mighty would-be deity. As the creator of the world of mana, Embryo exists in both a physical body as well as inside of a mecha that housed his soul. Given how he had Ange degrade herself for his amusement, it was only fitting that he should be killed twice over. First by Ange's beloved Tusk, and finally by Ange herself by blowing both his robot and soul to Kingdom Come. Number 15, Zorin Blitz, Hellsing Ultimate.
You will pay. You're going to pay. You'll pay!
You don't exactly need much of a reason to want to see a Nazi vampire get killed, because they're Nazi vampires. And yet, among all of Millennium's ranks, none inspired more ire and hate quite like Zorin Blitz. Her assault on the Hellsing headquarters not only resulted in the death of Pip, but she also used her illusions to make Ceres revisit the time both her parents were murdered before her eyes, and when she got shot, and what happened to her mother, while Zorin sliced off her arm and eyes back in reality. Yep, getting her face splattered across the walls of the manor was the least she deserved. Number 14, Deep Sea King, One Punch Man.
よくやった。ナイスファイト。
There's no villain that can survive the unstoppable love taps that Saitama can inflict, but this ruler of the deep made it personal when he not only roughed up Moomin Rider, but also stripped Genos for spare parts. After putting two such beloved heroes through the ringer, the fish-faced freak more than deserved to be turned into sashimi. Hence why Saitama punched him so hard he not only tore his hulking body inside out, but also evaporated all the rain in the city in one blow. Number 13, Jasley Donomikles, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
もちろんただでとは言わねえ。お前だってただ俺を殺したって何の得もねえだろ。
No matter how advanced they get, even intergalactic mafias are going to house their fair share of dirtbags, and none come bigger than Jasley. While also under the protection of the Tewas, his bitterness towards the Turbines and Tegadan led him to try and assassinate several of their members, while also cutting deals with Gjallarhorn. While his actions may have killed off Best Girl Laughter, Mikazuki and the rest were at least able to avenge her by having Barbatos Lupos destroy his ship, even as he begged for mercy. Number 12, Betelgeuse, ReZero starting life in another world. Given what he did to Rem and all the grief that he put Subaru through, it's easy to see why so many wanted this Archbishop of Sin to get his due. Thankfully, with his ever-returning rebirths, Subaru was able to do just that. With wit, some oil, one hell of a chase scene, and a blast of fire magic to the face, the slothful zealot himself and his trembling brain set ablaze, eventually reducing his spidery self into nothingness. Throw in Subaru's reaffirmed determination to protect those he loves, and this exchange truly marked a changing point for the series.
今度こそ終わりにしよう。
Number 11, Grand Fisher, Bleach.
You're a fool, because you know you can't win against my sword.
When this holo first appeared, it's fair to say the shonen was still finding its feet as far as villains. By the time the Arrancar rolled around, Grand Fisher was practically an afterthought, at least until they brought him back, just so Isshin could settle the score with the monster that killed his wife. Not only did this battle finally tie that little plot point up neatly, but it was also made clear that Isshin Kurosaki is a Shinigami, and a damn powerful one at that, able to cleave apart a towering behemoth like Resurrection Grand Fisher with just a swing of his sword.
Don't talk about Soul Reaper lore until you've learned that.
Number 10, Prime Minister Honest, Akamega Kill.
見つけた。あんたみたいな最低最悪のクズ。絶対に逃がさないよ。
As deceptive as his name is ironic, this royal confidant is the true power in the Empire, manipulating the young emperor into easily accommodating his plans, most of which involve the subjugation of innocents and expanding his own influence. He'll slaughter as many innocents as he has to, and sacrifice just as many followers if it achieves his goal. Considering his actions led to the deaths of several Night Raid members, watching Leone pummel his face until it caved in was hugely cathartic. We just wish she could have lived long enough to savor her kill. Number 9, Cheetu, Hunter x Hunter.
ねえねえ、俺の技すっげえぜ。今から味わってもらうけど、びっくりすんなよ。
Sure, we can think of a couple more Chimera ants who deserved a smashed skull more than the crazy cat, but there's just something about seeing an idiotic henchman dig his own grave that's just so appealing. Granted, he was already a dead man when he squared off against Xenozoldyck, so the fact that Silver suddenly descended from the sky and broke the cheetah's head open with one punch proved to be both unexpected, yet morbidly hilarious. That's what you get for monologuing.
まあ見ても見んでも結果は一緒じゃ。
Number 8, The Devil, Black Clover. Working behind the scenes and strutting onto the scene at the last minute, the nightmarish devil not only turned out to be the orchestrator of the elves' suffering, and by proxy the instigator of the Clover Kingdom's war with the Eye of the Midnight Sun, but also just the right amount of OP to secure himself as a worthy boss monster for Asta and company to take on. Knowing that he's caused troubles for all races since the days of the first Wizard King, seeing Yami nearly bisect him with his dark magic before Asta landed the finishing blow made for one of the series' crowning moments. Number 7, Raios Antinous, Sword Art Online Alicization.
行使できるということなのだよ
Given how this stuck-up noble had just attempted to defile a pair of his female colleagues, and was moments away from killing Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah, we really wanted to see this scumbag get cut to ribbons. Thankfully, Kirito's anime protagonist powers kicked in at the last second, where he was able to not only slice through the bastard's sword, but also lop off his bloody arms in the process. Would have been far more fitting though, if he had taken a blade to the nads instead, but we'll take what we can get. Number 6, Staffan Havish, Overlord.
殴るのがお好きなのですか
Ainz and his demonic peers pulled some rather shady stuff during their transition to the dark side, but even they appear angelic when compared to this lump of arrogance and depravity. As a confidant for the Eight Fingers, Staffan spent his days abusing his position by kidnapping women and having his wicked way with them, but not before beating their faces bloody for his own perverse enjoyment. As such, watching Seba slap the teeth out of him before ripping a hole through his fat frame was downright exquisite.
このことですねそのまま死んでいきなさい
Number 5, Danzo Shimura, Naruto Shippuden.
No, not yet. This is where we battle with our eyes.
Lurking in the shadows of the Hidden Leaf Village and slowly amassing power of his own, Danzo's list of crimes over his tenure as a ninja are as numerous as any of the Akatsuki, especially when it came to his obsession with the Sharingan. Turns out the leader of Root had a collection of them that he'd implanted into his arm, which in turn allowed for the manipulating illusions and calling upon the forbidden art of Izanagi. How fitting that Sasuke was the one to blind him for good, avenging his clan with a lightning bolt to the sternum.
But in the end, I never got to be Hokage.
Number 4, King Swain, Vinland Saga.
ウェールズかクヌートか選べ
He was a self-described slave to the power of the crown, so Ashla did him a favor and removed it for him, along with his head. The King of Danes was not a pleasant man, instigating war after war while showing no remorse about trying to have one of his sons assassinated. He may have been a wily player during his reign, but he ultimately lost the game when he made the grievous error of threatening to invade Wales. That shit just don't fly with Lucius Artorius Castus. Number 3, Cell, Dragon Ball Z.
I'm sure this makes them burn!
The Ultimate Creation was arguably the greatest foe Goku and the others fought during their original Z run, one with a nasty habit of coming back from the brink time after time, even after he literally exploded. Now beyond perfect thanks to his evolving nucleus, Cell was ready to put an end to his tournament with a single Kamehameha. This all leads to the monumental moment where Gohan, under the astral guide of his father, steps up to the plate and unleashes a Kamehameha of his own that, after some serious struggling, finally vaporizes the time-traveling bug right down to the last atom. Number 2, Lust, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If there's two things that Roy Mustang is good at, it's setting things on fire and getting ladies on their knees. Who would have guessed he would have used both at once to incinerate the homunculi's femme fatale? After surviving a spike to the gut, the Flame Alchemist emerges to finish the fight and protect Riza and Alphonse. Despite being badly wounded, it doesn't stop him from using a lighter to blast Lust over and over again, until not even her hyper-regeneration can combat the never-ending inferno. Guess some like it harder than most.
楽しみね。その目が苦悩に歪む日はすぐそこ。
Number 1, Dio Brando, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders.
100年前に不老不死を手に入れたが、これほどまでに絶好調の晴れ晴れとした気分はなかったな。
Ever since he kicked that dog in the face, this lord of memes has caused the Joestar lineage nothing but trouble and grief. His transformation into a vampire resulted in the massacre of hundreds and led to the death of Jonathan Joestar, while his antics as a stand user ended the lives of both Kakyoin and Joseph Joestar, temporarily, but still. Having endured this, Jotaro decided now would be a great time to Aura the bastard out of existence, which he accomplished in spectacular fashion by punching him so hard his soul shattered. When Jotaro finally exposed his remains to the sunlight, we breathed a sigh of relief that the journey was finally over. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.